Talking to Charlton manager Karl Robinson ahead of Saturday's trip to runaway leaders Sheffield United. Karl, Saturday's match is one of Charlton's 8 remaining league fixtures. With the countdown to the end of the season well advanced, are you already preparing for the next campaign in terms of personnel?
Yeah, we've been doing that for the last month in some ways, and trying to meet people and trying to get one or two things sorted out. As for the players who are internally in the building, I'm not going to that they're on hold in some ways till we get to the right level that we think we can start pushing out one or two things internally. So yeah, it's always been a case of ever since I walked in the building, it's where we're going to go and how we're going to move forward next season. But then there's a very small matter of games in the middle of that, which is just as important. The immediate future is obviously one of trying to win games, and we've not done enough of that of late. And it's important that we start trying to turn that corner and turn some of these draws into wins.
Could we see a new look Charlton come August?
You will, yeah. You will. Listen, but I said to the players who are already here, listen, the way they perform at the moment in the last 3 games has been excellent. Just need to take our chance when they come along. And if we can get this team fitter and this group stronger, we'll certainly be a team to be reckoned with next year, 100%. So that's when you look at, it's took a number of clubs, i.e. Sheffield United, for instance, 5-6 years to get to where they've got to today, and 5 or 6 difficult years. I don't want to be in that predicament. I want to make sure that we can turn that corner immediately and get ourselves back to the Championship, and that's the aim of everybody involved in the football club.
I know it's only March, but have you earmarked the players that you'd like to see here next season?
Yeah. There's a number of players, yeah.
Can you elaborate on that with the number?
I think it's going to be, ideally there's 10, 11 players that we're looking at. I think it's a massive overhaul, and it's important that we get the right amount of players in for next season. It's important the players that are here want to be here as well next year, and I'm seeing certain aspects in some of the games of people who do, and that's important, because I can build on that rather than demolish it and start again. It's important that we build on something, and the foundations will be set by the current squad, and the add-on factors will be done in the summer by what we're trying to bring in. So
it sounds as though you've got a fair amount of room for manoeuvre and bringing players in with regard to budget.
The budget's outstanding. They can't have any excuses.
You don't want to elaborate on that?
Oh, but people look and question, say any motives that are going on or things that we have to say about what we're trying to do. The budgets are very, very, very well. It's more than competitive at this level. I'm not going to go into great detail, it's unfair, but it'd be nice once if we could be sometimes a little bit more open about what we actually do spend, about how this club has been supported in where we should be with the finances. So it's important that we get it right. We're not going to be massively spending, but we can spend money, and we can try and build on the club's future. And it has to happen. We have to find that mentality from somewhere. I want to bring in players who feel this is what they've been working for many years to be a club like this, and they'll come here with the right design and right application to move us forward. But I'm certainly seeing in that training room now certain players who also want to be here next year, so it's important that I build on top of them.
At the final whistle on Tuesday against Bradford City, a number of your players are completely out on their legs. They've given everything. Will they have recovered in time for the Sheffield United game?
They have no choice. It is what it is. It's football. It's part and parcel of it. We've played more games than any other team in League One in the last 5-6 weeks. There's only one other team, I think, or two other teams that have competed with us the amount of games that we've played. So it's been a very difficult time for everybody involved, especially with the amount of injuries that we've had and how hard it's going to be with that. But it is what it is. It's one last push. We've got a break after this. We feel obviously the MK Dons game will probably be off with the international call-ups. So we have a 2-week window for them to recover and rest, and gives me time to test these players and do some testing for the summer, which I very rarely get the chance to do. So it just shows it's not just about the forward planning about what we bring in, but the forward planning what we already have in here. And any player we do like to sign, I'd like to try and get that done before they go away on holiday, so I have guidelines of what they can and can't do when they come back. So it's hopefully this one last push, and then we've got a little bit of a break. Then we have another big push in the back end of March and through April.
Will you have players back on Saturday to bolster your ranks?
No. Listen, like Jake and Ez will be a lot closer to maybe possibly starting. Jordan will be fitter, obviously. There was 3 of them on the bench that meant only a minimum amount of time. So they're probably the only ones, really.
Sheffield United lead the table by 8 points and have won 12 at home. Can you see them being caught this season?
No, not at all. I think Chris has done an amazing job. I think the players he brought in this summer, a number of them I would love to have taken myself, but they managed to get the players. Or the recruitment was superb. I thought the manager's mentality when he walked in the door for the type of players that he wanted, they all replicated each other, all the similarities in the personalities, and it looked from afar that he was bringing a very strong and hungry young team together, supported by some older players. Then in January, he did what all good managers do, they consolidate the positions by bringing like Hansen in, and good players from other clubs like Jay O'Shea, who's from Chesterfield. So they brought in players at certain stages. They brought in Duffy in the summer, who was a very, very good signing. Sammy Cruthers they brought in January, as we know. They brought in some really talented back players in O'Connell and Ebags Landell, very, very talented. They've always liked Basham. So they built on the certain players, and what they've been able to do from there is build up a head of steam, and the Auto Bramwell Lane, the fans are outstanding. The support that they give to their club is superb. It's something that I'm jealous. We're jealous because that's where we want to be, and that Saturday has got to be our mental picture in what we go into next season with, and that's where we want to be this time next year, and that's our aim, and that's our common goal. And I tell you, all them Sheffield United players have worked so hard to get to where they've got to. When you look at Sheffield United, we've drawn at home, and now we're playing them away. Second is a Bolton. Beat them away, drawn with them at home. Fleetwood was 2-2 away. We should have beat them at home, but drew at home. Scunny, I think you drew with them away, is that correct? And then we beat them at home. So 5 of the top 6 we've not lost to, home or away. Okay, there's too many draws in there. There's only Millwall in the top 8 that have beat us at the moment. So it just shows you that we've just drawn too many games, but none of the top teams have been able to get a result, and that's why it's important to go to there on Saturday and to get a result, because it'd be nice to go into the summer and go, wow, look at this. This is the teams that finished in the top 5, and you've more than competed against all of them.
So are you saying that your players tend to raise their game against the better sides?
I think it's a mentality concept where I think when we play the big teams, that this isn't just not from me, it's right the way through the course of the season. I think that sometimes we've certainly competed against all these top teams, and I don't think that's... Leagues aren't always won by what you're doing against the top teams, it's what you're doing against the bottom 10 as well. And we find ourselves in the bottom 10 for that reason. And I've looked at every eventuality, I've looked at every different component to what we've tried to do to build on for next season. And one of them is to turn some of these draws against the top teams into wins, and to certainly beat the teams in the bottom half of the table. We have to do that. Have to have more of a forward thing. You see, how it was second half on Tuesday is how we should be attacking teams, how we should be pressing, how we should be in the face, and how we should be playing forwards on the front foot. Listen, chances will come and go. We'll take them one day, because we have the quality within the group to do so. So, yeah, it's going to be a very difficult game. We know it's going to be one of the hardest games of the season. But we've got to be ready for it, and we've got to make sure that we're prepared for the fight.
Okay, Sheffield United for the title. Who's going up with them?
I don't care. Couldn't care. I honestly don't. It's not to do with me. I couldn't.
Karl Robinson, thank you very much.